Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Facebook Live. It is the 7th of February. Can you believe it? Year 2024, and the month of January is already gone. Let me get started with who we have on our panel today. I don't see April. I'm hoping she joins, but we have Patricia here. Good evening, Patricia. She's part of our core group of meditators, and I think Hugh was on video and then he's off video. So Hugh has joined us as well. I don't know if you can see what Hugh asked as a question. I'm going to post it again, Patricia. I put it in the chat, but let me repost it. Then I'll post it on the. So he says, question for panel: what is meant by image that can be friendly towards you? Power of Now writes, if you looked in the mirror and did not like, and this is what Eckhart writes, if you looked in the mirror and did not like what you saw, you would have to be mad to attack the image in the mirror. That is precisely what you do when you are in a state of non-acceptance. And of course, if you attack the image, it attacks you back. If you accept the image, no matter what it is, if you become friendly towards it, it cannot become friendly towards you. It can not become friendly towards you. I think that's what he means. This is how you change the world. So if you want to talk about it, and I'll go tag everyone over there on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's actually a very good question. And what came to me when I was listening to it was song, actually, by Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. And, you know, that's the whole idea of if you want to change the world, look in the mirror. And then what you see in the mirror, you're not gonna go and, try to change the image by touching the mirror. You have to go back to the source. So it always goes back to you. Always, always, always. And this is, I think, the law of attraction, as well as all the spiritual teachers that saying about co-creating your reality, Joe Dispenza, that we are that co-creative, even in a sense, soul contracts, that's our choice, but we do, our role here is to transform it. That's why we're here. And we're not gonna, again, hit the rock into the mirror to break it because we don't like what we see. We gonna thank the mirror, saying, oh, okay, so if I don't like the image, what makes the image? Who created the image? Then the question is, okay, first step is always, like Eckhart says, acceptance. If I look in the mirror and I see, oh, my hair is very long, I don't like long hair. So what do? I go and take action. If I can, I'll go and cut my hair. This is a silly example, I know, but
that's pretty good, actually.
It's simple, right? It's simple. Yeah. But I think the part here is, why do we have blocks? Why, instead of doing something so simple and understanding it, we procrastinate, or we say, I don't want to, let someone else change it. Why don't we take responsibility? And that goes into limiting beliefs, I think, that we have from the past. And let's say we believe we can't, or we're not good enough, or who am I to be so powerful that I can actually change something? Or am I worthy of doing that? Or who's gonna, like it or not like it? We're so afraid of outside world that we don't take that power that we have seriously, I guess, and we don't really use it in the right way, that we are the men in the mirror. We are women. So, and I think it all starts with the gratitude, and gratitude can bring us into that present moment to actually seeing all challenges and blessing us. So if I look in my body in the mirror, again, very physical example, first, instead of, I used to just criticize this. Oh, I'm to this, I'm to that, this is not right. It's like, this is our tendency from the past to just criticize it instead of just accepting it for what it is. Okay, so I'm that way, I'm that way. And I think some meditations help a lot in this, especially I found Dr. Norman Shilley's meditation about imagery, about emotional imagery, when you're actually looking in the mirror at your body naked, completely, and you just accepting it. And then you're trying on other people's bodies and you're trying to imagine how that would feel. And then at the end, you go back to yours and you're so totally grateful that you are exactly as you are. And that brings incredible acceptance and gratitude.
That's like looking for real estate when you go out looking for a house, and you see all this junk and you go back and forth and you see great and you're thinking, man, it's too much stress for that. And you get back and you're like, ah, home sweet home. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's exactly right. But there is a possibility also to change if you feel, let's say, if you're going with your example, if your house is too small and you're ready for a bigger one, but you still accept, all the good things and how you feel in that home, and that the feeling, will bring you to the better one. I know it happened to Poonam when she lived in an apartment. So there is, I think maybe people also might be afraid. I kind of was. I think that was my experience, that if I accept it and was grateful for what I have, I'm not gonna get better. I'm not gonna can change, because how can I accept something that I don't like? Right? So my first emotion was, let's say, my physical image. So I didn't like something about myself, or my eyes are too small. So what would that tell me about me if I accepted it? It's like, it was that discrepancies about what I believed and what I was supposed to do. It just didn't make sense. I remember when someone asked me to, because I was young, I used to love to paint. So I was considered pretty good in painting. And my little cousin came to me, and she was like 10 or something, and she painted something. And she thought it was amazing. But my ego is like, all I wanted to do, I wanted to tell her that it's not that great and that she needs to work on certain things. But I didn't know, I didn't have a skill to actually be grateful and appreciative that this younger soul came to me for my advice. So I was honest in my because I have to be honest, you know, I'm not gonna just tell her it's beautiful, because then I will do her disservice. I remembered well, and then I was beating myself up for it, because like, why did I say so many negative things? I mean, it wasn't very like nasty. I didn't say it that way, but I said she needs to work on her background and this and that. And I don't think she was happy that I wasn't just, oh my God, it's so beautiful, it's amazing, you're genius. So, and that was true for me. So the image, I never wanted to accept. That's why I think I have a big issue with, in the beginning, to follow that. I wanted my brain, I mean, my heart, maybe. My heart wanted to accept, but I didn't know how, because all I knew up to that point is how to criticize, because that's what I learned from my parents, because they would always say that there's something wrong, I needed to change something, in order to be accepted, I need to do this and this and that. It's just hard then to look in the mirror and find your own voice, find the voice of divinity, find the voice of the creator that created you exactly as you are. And you had some part of it, because you have that divine spark and you're creating yourself every day. So yes, that's that acceptance, but we always have to start where we are at now. So if I look in the mirror and I'm feeling the resistance, that's the present moment. I'm feeling that I don't want to accept it, and just standing in front of it, it's like, why don't I want to accept it? And then look for things that, you know, come up. It's like, what's coming up? Is that my voice? No, I really like myself. So where is that voice that I don't want to accept it? And then say, oh, I'm not it. This is a present moment. Take a breath, you know, just really feel your fingers. I actually told my mom to do this little exercise of just putting hand on her heart, which I learned from April from the Heart Institute. And just close your eyes and feel your heart beating, and just say, thank you so much, heart, for being there and beating all my life. There is such power in this little acknowledgement, and that's feeling that inner body and gratitude. And then if you open your eyes in that state and look at in the image in the mirror, everything looks so much different. And that's where what Wayne Dwyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that's very true. So you can change your image just by that, change your perspective, but it's
Now,
always from the present moment.
now you I like your example with the hair, right? No, I mean, it's just, and like you say, it keeps it simple, right? The question, the part that I was helping, was sharing with somebody, and we were talking about, she was talking about mirroring, and we went back and forth, and then of course I got on the old AI robot and put in Eckert, boom, mirroring, and boom, 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 boom. It all comes up, you know, it's pretty cool actually. It's on that AI robot, it's on Microsoft. So Microsoft Edge, that browser. But anyways, the part of the statement that threw me off was the part, okay, I get looking in the mirror, I get you can attack it and it can attack back. But if you like your hair and you see it in the mirror, it cannot be friendly towards you. It just throws it just
Because the way
What he actually is saying, Thank you, Patricia. I'm gonna explain what Hugh is asking.
Because I think he did respond to it.
So what he actually is saying, right, Hugh? Read what he's saying. If you looked in the mirror, you're looking at the mirror and did not like what you saw. So you're looking at the image that is in the mirror. But where is the problem? The problem is here, not in the image.
Right.
Right?
Clear as a bell. Yeah.
Right? Like if I have a deformity, if I think I'm too fat, if I think my face is too brown, then the problem is here, not in the image, right? So if you were to get mad at the image, well, if you look at the image and say, "Yo, why are you so fat?" Where isn't that insane?
But it says
The
it attacks
problem,
the back.
the problem is not with the image. The problem is in the real me, right? Does that
But I
make
think
sense?
Hugh understood that the problem, I mean, the
The-
misunderstanding was the second part, that
Right.
how
Right.
can it be the attack,
Okay, did you
but it cannot be friendly?
did you understand that the problem is not in the image?
Clearly.
The problem is with me. So
Clearly.
now equate the image to the present moment. When we look at the present moment and say, you are the problem, right? You're attacking the present moment. The non-acceptance, what is the non-acceptance of the present moment? Since Patricia was talking about, like I'll give you an example of, in 2002, I lost my job, right? And when I lost my job, instead of accepting the present moment, I cried a lot because I had given like 7 years to that place. I was very friendly with the people that I used to work with. I had worked nights and days, right? Like given up my family life. Like literally, like when they would, I would be going on the weekend, like going to an occasion or something. And if I got a phone call that I needed to be at work, I would cancel wherever I was going. The evening would be canceled and I would be going to work. At that time, we didn't have this remote work, right? In 1993, 94, there was no internet at companies. So you had to actually drive into work to work, right? So my mind, after I lost the job, was running this mental movie making. I can't believe they didn't do this. I can't believe they let me go. They asked me to, we had a reduction in force. So what am I doing? I'm resisting the present moment. What is the present moment? Somehow I've ended, like whatever my soul contract was with those people, it has ended, right? But I'm not accepting it. And now this resistance starts. Like the resistance can start with, like in your case of illness, people in the same state as you can go, oh, poor me, why do bad things happen to me? Well, I took care of my body. Well, why did this happen to me? Why did I get some kind of cancer? I mean, I ate well, all this thing. I took care of my parents. I took care of my family. I provided for my family. I did everything right. And how can God do this to me? That is non-acceptance of the present moment. Does that make sense?
That clearly makes sense. It's still you're not addressing the part that what I'm confused on.
You're talking, so people are getting mad at the image.
I'm not talking about the image. I'm talking about you like the image and it cannot be friendly toward you. It's like if you didn't like the image and you let it attack you back and forth, I get all that, right? But if you look at the image and you like what you see in the mirror, it cannot be friendly toward you.
No, that sentence is incorrect. Whoever transcribed it, if you really look at it, look in the book, it would be, if you become friendly towards it, it can, I mean, it's a double knot. It is friendly, it becomes friendly towards you.
Mhm.
It's not, it cannot become friendly towards you. It will be friendly towards you. the moment with the present moment, if you
Oh,
become
you're
friendly
saying
towards,
what's written there is a typo.
yes, it's a
Oh,
typo.
well, no wonder I'm confused.
That
It's a
makes
typo.
sense. Exactly. That makes sense because
Yeah, because I'm scratching my head. I'm thinking, because what happened was really it was a good topic of mirroring because mirroring can get very confusing, you know. And I don't have the actual book. You know what? I had a PDF is where I got that from.
and that's Power of Now.
Yeah, I'll send it to you if you want.
I have the book. It's
I
won-
could I'm on that on the
wonder
other
what
on the
page.
I looked it up.
But I think Poonam is right because it wouldn't make sense. What he meant, the source of everything is in you. So if you are friendly toward the present moment or the mirror or what is, that moment will be friendly toward you.
Yeah, but what was written was it won't be. It's like
Right, right.
it's like hey, if you don't like what you see, and it can talk
Yeah.
back to you.
They're missing a nut. It's like if you looked in the mirror and did not like what you saw, you would have to be mad to attack the image in the mirror. That is precisely what you do when you are in a state of non-acceptance. And of course, if you attack the image, it attacks you back. If you accept the image, no matter what it is, if you become friendly towards it, it cannot not become friendly towards you.
It's
Is
exactly
what is in the book.
well
And
that
I-
that's
I
Double
that's a,
negative. It's
well
double negative.
that's what I wrote.
No,
No,
you're
you
missing
wrote
one nut.
it cannot. She said it cannot
You
not become.
you just said cannot.
Not.
Julian.
One more not.
There's
Read-
one more
read-
nut,
After cannot.
which becomes positive.
Hey,
Cannot,
read it
not.
again. Read it again. Lynette.
Read it now.
It's double negative.
You just read that on the phone, but you actually said cannot when you were just
Not.
reading that.
It says it
I
cannot
said it
not
cannot
be
not
friendly.
become friendly towards you.
It
See?
cannot. You're
Not.
saying it should say it cannot be friendly toward you. Is what you're saying.
No, it cannot not. Why are you not able to hear us?
Double not. Can
two
not
nots.
not.
I will have to.
Two double knots become don't.
Positive.
Oh no, I
Becomes a
mean it makes
positive.
sense if you take the knot out of it. I get it. But I could have sworn when you were reading it from your phone, I could have
No, no.
sworn you said not.
She said it right. It's
I
your
said-
brain
I
that's
said
trying to,
to read it exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get the hard copy of that book.
It cannot not become friendly towards you. Actually, you can buy like on iBooks if you have an iPhone. You can buy the book itself as a soft copy, and that's what I searched. And it's easier to search
Oh,
instead
it
of
is.
looking at
Oh
it.
God, yeah.
Instead of looking it up on the hard copy, you wouldn't even know. You would have to keep searching where this is. But I just did a search on Mirror, and
But I
then I
think,
found the
Poonam,
passage.
the reality in it is that the source is in us. So whatever you decide, if you're gonna get angry at it, it's gonna be angry back. If you're gonna be friendly towards it, it has no choice, basically. It has no choice but to become friendly back because it's mirroring you. Mirror does not do anything. It just reflects. So whatever you show to the mirror, it will reflect back. And that's, I think, also a power of smile. That's actually a little different, but close. I learned that if you smile to people, there's something in our psychic that you want to match, someone it's almost like kind of a mirror, but not. But if you smile to people, I see that they smile back. It's just like,
I was just reading that today, Patricia.
really?
Yeah, there's a psychological thing that people, when they come up to you, they in other words, they're feeling likewise with energy. They will mirror you. They'll tend to know if you're smiling, they'll smile. I swear to God, that was about 3 hours ago. You just mentioned that.
Dr.
But
Joe, in his you know, when he talks about elevated emotions in his progressive or intensive course, he shows us in a train, like people are sitting in a train and one person starts laughing, then another person starts laughing, and the whole cabin in the train
contagious.
starts
Yeah.
laughing, and that's what he's saying. That's how it ripples out, the elevated emotions. I just wanted to say hello to Lakshmi and Michelle and Summer from Florida. She's
Hello, hello, wonderful ladies for joining. But it's also true in, I think, the negative emotions, but because when you hear someone like yelling and bringing stuff, you start getting defensive, and then, you know, it's also right.
Oh yeah.
It's just yawning too. Like if you see someone yawning,
That's the truth. I mean, how many times we done that?
I think Ken used to, when he was joining the lives and meditations, he talked a lot about mirroring. I remember it was his thing always, you know, mirroring.
Well, yeah, it's definitely an interesting subject. I mean, if you look at Puni, I think you had me screwed up when I first come on board, and it was about if you look at somebody and you're saying that guy's a jerk, are you really saying
You're a jerk.
I'm a jerk,
Yeah.
right? I'm seeing what I can recognize. You know, it takes one to know one, so to speak. We've heard that forever, you know. So that was brought up when I was talking to this person with this mirroring thing, until I went ahead and did the old PDF search for the mirroring and come up with that thing I posted with this question. It's apparently wrong. And you know, just to make sure I don't want to share something with somebody and not be 100%. You know, what I believe is true, do I know it's true? Right. So I want to make sure before I give somebody wrong advice, you know, or trying to make them understand it. But that's how we learn, right? You know, you're trying to help somebody and then you uncover something like that. I just learned that I'm not using the PDF no more.
It's easier though to
The search, I know.
for our ego to help
Oh.
someone else. And I learned this technique when you want to find out something, instead of asking what should I do, like before you go to bed or something, it's like, what should I do? Or I have this, like, mentally talking to yourself. It's better to say, what would you do? Like you know what, like almost asking yourself like it's you, it's a second person, because then ego drops its defensiveness, because
Oh
it's
yeah.
about you, it's not about me, right? So
Yeah, it's like you're taking the watcher approach, being the watcher.
yes, a little bit of distance. You know, I tried it, it helped me a few times. If I remember, but my ego is very strong sometimes, so it's like it's about me. So I said, oh, I am so this and that. It's like, no, what would you do? What would you have me do?
You say ego, man, my ego was like off the hook. I mean, I was not accepting that book, I'm telling you, for years. I had to go through every sentence and prove that Eckhart didn't know what he's talking about. I couldn't
Really?
I
Oh
couldn't
my
I
God.
couldn't I couldn't prove him wrong. That's why I'm here. You know, but that was me. I mean, that was like, so, you know, I have a little bit of a hearing problem, just to let you know. Um, Sometimes when you guys talk, so don't think I'm real dense, but you would think when I didn't have a hearing problem that I had a hearing problem because of my ego. I only wanted to hear what I wanted to hear. And I see it in other people now. You know, I'll talk to them and they can write down. You can write down and say, no, I would say, no, that this is what it should be. And here, read it yourself. And they read it wrong. It's so embedded in their head, you know. So I teach a lot of guys in the field and stuff, you know. And it's just amazing. that ego gets, it has to be right, you know?
Selective, selective. Only what confirms that it's right will you'll pick up from the environment.
The fascinating part for me, though, it's happened several, maybe probably about at least a dozen times that they will read. I mean, the right answer is in front of them and they'll read it wrong. It's just, it's the wildest thing to say. And it's an aha moment. And we're talking like, I have to repeat this like 10 times and yell and scream. Because I have to, because it was like one of them things where, no, dumbass, this is what you read, what, you know, that's the way I had to roll. You know, it's funny. But
By the way,
Yeah.
Rob says hi. He misses us. I wish he would come talk to us on the panel.
Yes, he's busy.
hey, I noticed Samara, she really travels a lot, doesn't she? In that boat?
Yeah, she's sailing on the boat.
That's amazing. I mean, would she do that like full time or something?
Yes. They retired, her husband and herself.
Wow,
So
it's amazing.
they're sailing.
I
By the
love
way,
I love the adventures. It's like taking you completely to a different reality. None of those worries, you know, they have a worry about something about the boat, the engine, and you know, completely different. It's good sometimes to take your mind and open up to others.
She don't care because Captain Mike will take care of it.
yeah, exactly. So I think it's Bob, her husband.
Oh, was it Bob? I thought it was
Yes.
Captain Mike or something.
No, Bob. So Patricia, you were asking about victim and saboteur. What was your question about victim and saboteur? You were asking me, and then I said, let's talk about it during the Facebook Live. Was it last week or the week before during group meditation?
Yes, if I remember correctly, all these archetypes, you know, the four main archetypes. Now, yeah, the victim and saboteur.
You mean you want to list all the four for anybody that does not know what the four is, and where did you get that information from?
So we learned this information from Carolyn Mays, and she talks about, has books about it, webinars, seminars about archetypes, archetypal way of looking at so at our contracts, like each person in their lives here on earth has to go through their own version on transformation of four archetypes, and then there is another 8 that we have, you know, different combinations of and the archetypes, she said, that would be a wounded child, it would be a victim, it would be a saboteur, and prostitute. And then she explains what does what, but when you think about it that way in your life, you'll see when you leak, it's like leaking your power. If you're a victim, if you're playing a victim role, it's like playing a role, really. That's the archetype. And it's not that it's just me, but everybody knows that role. So I think the victim and wounded child for me was like so close. I'm sorry, the saboteur, right? Saboteur and the victim well, so close related because in order to stay a victim, I have to sabotage my reality to go back. So they were like feeding each other, you know, to go back to victim, because victim was so strong that if in a situation I was actually doing better, doing, you know, good, I needed my saboteur to do something then so I could go back to the victim. So I think that was, I was asking how to overcome all those archetypes, because just seeing them, is it enough?
No, you have to, like Dr. Joe Dispenza says. So I'll give a little bit more explanation of how the archetype works. What Carolyn Myss says is just like the latitudes and the longitudes run, like we see lines, right? When we look at the earth, like a globe, somebody has a figurine of a globe, then we see latitudes. This is longitude, latitudes, right?
Yeah,
Horizontal is
find
latitude,
the point. In order
longitude.
to find a point, it's as a way of, yeah.
And
getting-
then the same way, there are energy patterns that run across, like there's a net of energy pattern across our planet. And those energy patterns contain these energy formations called what she calls archetypes, which is like, it can be, I think even Tony Robbins was referring to these archetypes, right? During his Time to Rise challenge, he was talking, raise your warrior, raise your king.
Yeah,
or
he
raise
used the positive archetypes. He used the
Right.
positive, yeah.
But what Carolyn Myss says is by default, we have the victim, the saboteur, the wounded child, and prostitute. Everyone has it. So the way you override it, I would follow, since I understand Dr. Joe Dispenza's method, I only can follow Dr. Joe Dispenza's method, and his method for any pattern behavior that we have, he calls it reconditioning the body to a new mind, is to override those neurons. So nerve cells, he calls it the Hebbian law, nerve cells that fire together, wire together. So the opposite is also true. Nerve cells that don't fire together, don't wire together. So you have to make sure that you're not firing and wiring the same neurons over and over again. So if let's say I'm sitting and suddenly a thought arises, why did my people at my last job let me go? Because I worked so hard to create like different.
Mhm.
The moment it moves to the past, like you have to use your, and I kind of messaged you today as well about it. Your neocortex like has to be that Gandalf on the bridge. You'll have to look up this character called Gandalf, or I don't know which movie it is from, but supposedly this character does not allow, like Eckhart says, right? Bring the sword of presence. So you bring the sword of presence to, my mind is moving into the past. Come on back, mind, body. Come to the present moment. And we watched, like for the past 3 months or 2 months, 2.5 months, we've been watching Eckhart show us how to be in the present moment in day-to-day life. That implies when we are making celery juice, we are in the present moment. When we are making lemon water, we are in the present moment. We are not going in the past. The moment your mind goes into the past, you bring it back. You have to do it moment to moment, like you have to, you almost are in a spiritual gym now. Like you're doing gymnastics and you are in a spiritual gym and you're making your mind come back to the present moment. Just like Eckhart taught us, right? We're going to start doorways into presence again. Watch him, how present he is, like holding objects. Like if you're holding the knife, feel the knife, like when you're about to cut your celery, the head of the celery or something, the waste part, how present you need to be in that moment. How present you need to be washing it. How present you need to be in putting it through the juicer. How present you need to be as that celery juice touches your lips. How present you need to be as you're taking when you're taking your supplements, how present you need to be as you're taking each and every supplement, right? The more you bring your mind to the present moment, then you're firing and wiring, you're telling the victim, no, because the victim is living in the past, right? It's
Yeah.
living in the story of the trauma. It's
You know
living
what
in,
helped me? What helped me in those little moments? It's just I need to do it more and more. It's almost it's such a mastery to do it the way Eckhart does it, like every moment. Because for me, when I take my supplement, the way I can stay in present moment is just by saying thank you, like by actually acknowledging that this supplement helps me with this. Thank you, like thank you.
but
So I'm staying, because if I don't, my mind will already race, what do I have to do next? That this is just a habit of taking supplements, and I already know it, so my body does it automatically, so my mind now will be busy with thinking about something else. So I do have to go back to the gratitude of what each supplement gives me. Otherwise, my
and I
mind races.
think, Patricia, one of the things that you have to do, and everybody that has such a active analytical mind, you're in high beta brain activity,
Yes.
is to focus on your breath, like train yourself when you're doing Dr. Norm Sheedy's meditations or any of the meditations, right? Focusing on your breath, like when you're taking the supplement, the much more power is in taking the breath, like being in the present moment without the thought occurring. Because the moment the thought occurred, consciousness, content arose in consciousness, you're no longer in the present moment. I'm telling
but I
you,
thought-
the moment the thought occurred, you brought the thought in the present moment. You are not with the supplement.
But I'm grateful for the supplement. How is it not in the present moment?
Because you brought a thought to it.
Well, you know, Eckhart says, when you realize you're not present, then you're present.
Right, but again,
You're
my
thinking
mind is racing. I got to replace the
what you have to
victim.
replace, what you have to replace it is with breath. You have to place it with the inner energy of your body. Like, you know, where he teaches you have to be in your body. Remember, he took us to taking a breath. You have to train your body. I'm telling you, you have years of conditioning of not being in your body. You have years of like your dad, how he was. You are emulating, you have a victim identity about him, but you are 100% just like him.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory, you are 100% just like him. You are thinking, you're racing, your thoughts are racing and racing and racing, right? I can see it. Like, I talked to you for an hour and a half and you still don't absorb what I'm trying to say. And it's just like you're thinking, your analytical mind is going and going, whirring around.
Makes sense out of everything.
It has nothing to do with the analytical mind. You have to shut it down. You have to say, go sit. Analytical mind, go sit there. This is not about you, analytical mind. Don't analyze. I just need to focus. I need to be deep in the present moment. And that's the moment of grace. The moment you bring yourself in the present moment, the moment you are like completely in the breath in this body, and you're experiencing the whole energy flow, like right from the base of the spine to going through your body, there's nothing like it. You won't want anybody, you just want to feel that feeling. And that's why Dr. Joe says, remember that feeling, because he knows that feeling is so addictive. It's like DMT. Like the moment we feel that energy flow, we are in love with it. Like, I cannot but wait. When is it going to be evening and I can go sit quietly and get into that energy?
And which one of Dr. Joe's meditation do you think is the most powerful because he does hypnosis. He actually puts your mind in the different waves. So I did the walking meditation number 5 today. So it happens to me is this, that I'm doing his meditations, he's going through this, and I still have thoughts. So now I come to the point, it's simultaneously. I don't think I've ever experienced actually no thought. It's always either being identified with them or being in the meditation, but seeing them go and just letting them go, but they keep freaking coming.
So you have to direct your attention into your body. You have to do the inner body, like Dr. Norm Shitty says, right? The guided imagery for feeding the body. Do it 100 times. Do it 100 times. You are not in your body. The moment we get inside the body, I can feel and experience about. I can feel it sitting on the toilet.
But I'm thinking,
Like,
I'm
I
thinking
can
about the
quiet-
body.
I can
Tells me
quiet my-
focus.
I can quiet my mind down, and I'm sitting on the toilet. My energy center 6 is like running. Like I can feel it. Like I can quiet it down, and it's going.
So what's the difference between thinking about your part of the body? Like, let's say now you say, Patricia, think about your left little toe. So I can go, and that's what's the feeling in your body. So I go to my toe, but am I thinking about it, or am I actually
You're
feeling it?
feeling it. You're feeling the energy from, just like when you hold your hand and you're feeling the energy of the hand from inside, you're feeling the energy of your toe from inside. From the right ear, you're feeling the energy of the right ear. Like you're paying total attention. And I'm positive, since you do painting, you know how to pay attention. You just need to transfer that skill to doing meditation. And I know that because I did a master's degree and I know how to study and be in the zone while studying. I just transfer that skill of attention, right? It's just about attention.
But studying is about your mind, not about
But
feeling.
it is attention that you're so totally focused into what you're doing that you've forgotten that anything is around you.
I forget to eat. I forget
Right.
to eat when I study. Completely don't even,
Yeah, that's intense. I mean, I'm the same way. I know what you're going through, and I'm telling you when I said this to you guys before, but when I started meditating, I mean, I used to have mind racing that I knew before I meditated. Like, man, my mind just goes. I'm analytical as well, you know, and so I got my mind wrapped around that. So I started like Poonian said, I started feeling the dust. I'm feeling the cold floor right now. I'm feeling, I'm doing it as you guys are talking, right? Because you forget. So you can be present and still talking, I'm talking now, I'm feeling the dust. So I'm being present and while I'm talking, so it's starting to, and these things are just flow. Like that, what was that, the British lady, Terry? Remember Terry in the workshop? As a potter?
Yeah, Terry Potter.
Yeah, she don't even prepare for it. She gets present just, well, I'm here and I don't have anything planned. She just rolls with her spot, which turns out great, Anyways, going back. So I got that under control based on before I started meditating. Then I go to meditate. I could not do it for more than a minute. I mean, the thoughts come, like you said, whoa, I mean, as they keep flying by, it's like, man, is this gonna stop? I had no idea I had all this stuff going on in my head. And then, as you know, I meditate different. I do the transcendental, but I focus on, like she said, like Pina said, you focus on inside the body. Like I told you, my watch thinks I'm asleep, with the heart rate, my heart rate slows down, my breathing slows down to where, if you read up on it, you really do. It's like you can replace getting sleep just by meditating an hour at a time, you know. My screen just went black and it just come back up. But over time, and then I think I shared with you guys, the thought process slowed down, and I'm getting 45 minutes in now.
45 minutes with no thought?
No, meditating. Oh, no, I'm always fighting it. The thoughts always come, you know what I mean? They're not flying by. It's like they were coming by around 80 mile an hour. Now they're coming by around 10. It's a big
It's
improvement,
progress, yeah.
you know, but then sometimes it stops, comes close to stopping, and then I lose it, and then they start again. The bottom line is, I think what I've learned was, I've been logging my dreams down too. You should see that one. That's incredible. I mean, I got a fascinating world at night, you know. But if I remember my dream after my meditation, I'll go ahead and write that down. But that's another story.
So you have lucid dreams, you know, that
Oh
you
my God. Yeah. I mean, we're talking the craziest things you've ever come up with, man. I mean, incredible stuff. But I mean, it's so real, you know. So there's no question about it. I dream in color. But the cool thing for me though is like I really can solve problems through my meditation. It happens, you know. I did it again today, actually. You know, it's
So what's the
just
technique? You first, before you go into meditation, you ask that you have a
no, you do
situation.
no. It's just whatever. I let my mind do what it wants to do. I have no idea what's going to come. I don't go in and say, "Hey, I'm going to go meditate on it." It's like some people do. You know, I mean, that's why I never understood. Oh, you mean tell me you're going to go meditate on it? Well, I just had a random thought when I fixed my engineer buddy's situation. You know, it all came together. I'm like, I just got out of the meditation. I said, I'm not losing this thought. I went down and started drawing on CAD, you know, and it was the solution. I drew it, you know, but yeah, so you don't force it. It just happens, you know. But I notice you know what I've come to realize, if I have a problem in the background, could be with a relative, helping them out financially, I'll come up with a better idea. If I have plans for the weekend, I'll probably have a better way of approaching it, maybe a more efficient way of knocking it out. It'll come to me. Or maybe I might call a friend and something else will come. It's almost like
I think you're following Einstein's idea that you can't solve the problem from the level it was created. You have to get above it to see, and meditation is bringing you higher and higher vibrations. And then
yeah. Well, yeah, because if there's something that happens there, it doesn't. I don't walk out of my meditation. It's like, well, it's the first thing in the morning. You guys got me doing that. It's right after brushing my teeth. Boom. You know, that's just the way it is. And I've not missed a day, and it's changed me. It's now that I'm working out now, I've never worked out this much in my life, you know, after what I've been through, you know, you get like a second chance thing. But I was talking with another guy in the same situation I'm in, and they got him on pain pills. They got him, the pain you're going to go through. I'm like, I ain't go through all this pain. You know, I started breathing through my hand through that thing. I started feeling that, you know, I was doing it, and then it was easy to breathe through your throat because you're breathing through it. You know what I mean? You recall the meditation I'm talking about? Kumian sent it to me. But
yeah, that was the feeling your body, I think.
yeah, it's the way the ancient people used to have do their anesthetic. They'd start by breathing through their hand and breathing through the parts of the body with the pain. and you train your mind. So really what you're doing, you're separating the thought, just like anxiety, you're separating the, when you get present, you're interrupting the thought that creates a reaction.
Yeah.
You know, this is sort of where that's,
Powerful because Dr. Shealy, Norman Shealy says to breathe the light and then like our small vacuum, like inhaling the pain, like a small little vacuum, and then just breathe it out. You're actually taking it out of your body.
and like Punian says, it's almost like you're rewiring your brain. Just like when my this chiropractor I go to, which is a mindful guy, and he's in the Eckhart, and it's just crazy, but it's really wild. Honestly, how I discovered this, he used to take a towel around my neck and then pull it. In other words, I'm laying down with a seatbelt with my legs up, you know, my feet are on there, and then he pulls me tight. Then he just takes that towel around my neck and goes, oof, and every bone in all my vertebrae go crack, 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 crack. And we actually measured myself after he did it, and I was a 1/4 inch taller when I left. Okay, but by him doing that, it irritated the tumor, which caused me the hemorrhage. So it's like he saved my life. You know what I mean? It's the way I'm looking at it. You know, it's just But anyways, he told me I got this. You know what elliptical is, right? I use that for warm-ups. Well, what I have is not elliptical. It looks like an elliptical, but what it does, it burns twice as many calories. Now, how is that? Well, when you move your hand this way, when you walk like this, your legs, if I move my arm like this, my leg goes back. And then it goes like this, right? The machine I got is called
Like going on skis, like walk on the.
yeah, but that's the machine I got. When you move your arm up like this, your leg goes with it. So you go up, your leg goes with it, but you're still doing it's like you're doing elliptical, but you're doing it backwards. So what he said to me, he goes, well, you listen to Joe Dispenza, don't you? I said, yeah. He said, well, don't do that because you're training you're training your body to act in a wrong way. I said, what do you mean? He goes, you're going to screw your balance up and everything by doing this machine that's making you not naturally move. That's why you burn twice the calories. And because you keep doing it, you're gonna screw your natural rhythm up.
You mean, but Dr. Joe doesn't talk about physical body. He's talking about like meditation.
Well, I'm talking about the muscle memory is where a physical muscle memory is where I'm going versus mental muscle memory. Just like physical pain and mental pain. Pain is pain, right? If I hit you with a hammer, you yell out in pain.
It applies Dr. Joe Dispenza's philosophy applies to what he was saying as well. He's not just saying apply it to your mind. You can apply it to your physical body as well. In your exercise routine, you can fire anything wherever you're firing. Like we start drinking coffee, that's a firing and wiring of a different set of muscle memory in our brain.
And people,
we start eating sugar, that's a firing and wiring of you're training your body not to like sugar.
my buddy, I have a friend of mine that he says, I found out what my pain was, which I used my pelvis was crooked. I said, what? He says, yeah, because remember I told you I was hurting. Well, he got the muscle memory going, and he was favoring the one side, and he literally had to go to therapy to get straightened out for like, it took him like 5 or 6 tries, but they finally got it straight. But that was from his muscle memory, you know, adapting to it.
Is it Poonam also that we create new cells, and new cells are being created in old messaging unless we do new vision of the future, new body, what Dr. Joe says, the vision, and then the new cells are being born with that new image because it's a memory of the future. So that's why that visualization is so important, because Now I'm finally getting this, that we are all, as a memory, we hold memories. So what he does is he creates a memory of the future. So then your body, instead of bringing the memory from actual past that you're living, becomes your, present moment, because you're just repeating the same pattern from the past. When you have a new pattern, it's still as a memory because you experience it, especially with those elevated emotions. So the body goes to it, but it's a future. So that's how he changes,
That's because
right?
that's because in the parallel, in the infinite universes, that we are a hologram. If you heard of that, we are a hologram. So there are infinite,
Possibility.
like I've heard it somewhere else, but even Dolores Cannon says every time we made a choice, right? In one aspect, you made a choice, you're going to drink celery juice, but the opposite of it, there's a
It's true.
Patricia in this universe that in one universe that is not drinking celery juice, right? So if you say there's a Patricia that's not wealthy, in one universe, one Patricia is really wealthy. So all he's saying is go pull that. I think a Walking Meditation 5 has that. Go look at that past, and as the future self, pull that past self into the body that is the future self. Right? Look at the sincerity of who started the walk and pull that person into the future, right? Same thing with changing boxes. Pull that person, pull your body to this future elevated emotion. So
This
all
is
he's
so
saying,
mind-blowing. It's so mind-blowing that exactly that future already happened. It's like all the possible scenarios.
it did not happen. Everything in this eternal present moment is happening. Everything is continuously happening. We are continuously living all the past lives and the future lives. All he's saying is go pull that future now into this present moment. And that's what people who heal lung cancer, people who heal cancer, there's a person that said she did center of the magnet. I posted that. She did center of the magnet and she was almost homeless or something. Then she found a job that she has to only work 5 hours a day and she earns like $500,000 or something. It's like,
It's incredible.
how
Yeah.
does she manage that? Right? You're homeless, you're a single mother and taking care of a child, and then
And she was very, very sick with so many things, and her child was sick. Yeah, and then she found someone that she was taking care of, some very wealthy person. Yeah.
and they
It's just incredible stories, almost like makeup stories. It feels like this is so unreal, but it's real.
because there's
So
a future self where each one of us has a future self. There's a future self of you that has none of the throat issues, nothing. You
but
just
you
have to
say
feel
it's
that.
a future. You just said that it's all in the now. How can it be in the
No, it's happening in the now, is what she said.
It's happening in the now, I said. The future and the past is happening in the now. The past is happening in the now.
how? I thought past was gone, done.
You know, because that's your mind.
It's a fine line.
Because our mind, I guess, which is linear, cannot understand quantum, correct? That's the idea. It's just no matter how much it tries, it will never make sense out of it because it's thinking with the limitations of the linear mind, cause and effect.
So I was listening to Robert Edward Grant talk about like some super sun or something, some supernova is bursting. And in year 2024, we're going to see it like almost like lit up as a full moon in the sky. It may happen in 2024. He said because it's like 600 something million light years away.
So by the time it gets to us, it's gonna
This-
be done.
No, this supposedly already happened in the 13th century.
Right,
It
so
took
by the
this
time,
It took this long that we will see it now.
Right, right.
this is
that-
another mind-blowing
Yeah,
concept.
and then with the quantum, if the atom was split and it was 13 million light years away, if you rotated it 90 degrees, it would rotate 90 degrees, even though it's 13 million away. That's what blows everybody's mind about quantum. You know, it's faster than the speed of light. No, it's instant. It's like it just smokes everybody's mind. But speaking of, you're talking about the new cells in the brain and remembering from the past. Dispenza was also talking about how it gets lost in translation from the old brain cells to the new. Like your memories of the past, they can be skewed, meaning like I go back to where I grew up. Man, this place looks so small. I remember it being so big, and that's what's happening because the way I remembered it over the years, it's basically my brain cells, as they will say they renew every 7 years, they lose bits of information, and you carry it forward. And then, wow, we go back and now we go back into reality and I'm there and I'm like, man, this place
That's
is
so
so
cool
tough.
that you said that, because I actually heard him also in one of his interviews, and podcasts. Someone asked him, and he said, "Yeah, people many times suffer from things that didn't even happen because their mind
Exactly.
made
Well,
it up, something that actually did not happen because the mind needed the reason, and it kept,
And
going."
that's like in your past, in my past, I hung on to some things in the past. And it was like, wait a minute, that was an immature mind reacting so many years before. And I'm going to carry that same pain forward. Oh, it's not only going to get lost in translation, but it's also getting transferred to a mature brain cell. You see what I mean? It's
So
just
you'll
so
make the
much.
story much bigger than it actually was.
Yes, exactly. But you know what you're doing? You're keeping the same reaction. So the story has to be bigger because you got a more mature mind to get it to react. Because you're not what bothers a little kid ain't gonna bother you. That's
And
deep. It's some deep thinking here, you know.
So he says, is the environment signaling your genes, or are you signaling the environment? To create the new genes that will heal your illness, you need to signal the new genes. So if we are reacting to the environment, right? If something is happening, we're stuck in traffic, we're getting frustrated in traffic, we get to work, we're getting frustrated with the coworker, then the environment is signaling, and by living in that hormones of stress, we shrink our field down, and we are stuck in energy center 1, 2, and 3. So his philosophy is that you raise your vibrational frequency, you balance your energy centers, and out of that, you start to signal new genes. You create new genes. You can create new genes. People have grown like the thyroid, like her thyroid was taken away and she grew a whole new thyroid. Like things of that sort of have happened with Dr. Joe's meditations.
miracles.
So, are you all good? Rob. Christina says good night, everyone, and blessings. I didn't see any more comments. I don't think I saw any more comments.
So
Lakshmi.
going back to Hugh's first original question, so we did talk about that miracle, right, Hugh? You happy?
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense now that it's spelled correctly. You know, so
I know it's been late, and it's getting late for me as well, since I have to wake up early tomorrow for work. But this was like an incredible conversation. So eternally grateful to all of you,
Thank
Patricia,
Thank you.
you.
Poonam.
And Sri Lakshmi is online, so
Thank you.
infinitely grateful. Thank you for choosing your divinity over your humanity. I am so, so grateful that we had such a wonderful conversation, and everyone online, Summer, Lakshmi, Michelle, Rob stopped by, Christina said hello. I think Damodar posted as well, so grateful for everyone. And have a fantastic week, and we will meet again in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Many blessings, much love,
See ya.
bye, good night.